Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Esty Besties podcast. This is episode 4, and we have another amazing guest.
Yee! We're back with the best guest. This is Miss Sydnie Marlella,
Hi,
one of
everyone.
my absolute favorite people in the entire world.
Oh my goodness.
I mean it. Today we are talking about, overall, this title is going to be Living Luxury, but we're going to go into a few different things. We're going to talk a little business, we're going to talk travel, we're going to talk social media tips, content creation, self-love, all that stuff, literally everything. So just stay tuned. We have a really fun episode today, and let's get into it. Yeah, so let's start with having Sydnie give you guys a little intro. You can do name, age, if you want, and then sign.
Social security number.
Give me that.
The whole
thing. And then maybe a little career background of kind of where you started.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Where you're at.
Okay.
No pressure.
You want me to just talk in?
Yep.
Okay.
Go for it.
So hi everyone. My name is Sydnie Marlella. I am 27 years old. Just turned January 10th. I'm a Capricorn, and I'm an entrepreneur and business owner, and recently new TikToker. Yes. And my family owns emergency housing facilities for the city of Philadelphia homeless for the last, I want to say, almost 51 years. We've been contracted since 1986. Wow. So that's my main job. And then I also have a marketing and management consulting business. So that's the SMW collection, which is how Bryn and I met. Yes. So long ago. We've been in this for years at this point.
I know.
So,
I want to tell that cute story.
Yes. So basically I just help entrepreneurs and brands rebrand themselves to be more appealing on the marketing and management side. So that's my little passion project. And then recently, I've been doing content creation, but TikTok's just blown up in the last 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing that as well. And that's me.
That's you.
Yes.
And yeah, so Sydnie, as long as I've known her, she's always been the content queen, but recently it's just gone crazy.
It has.
I think it was the traveling. It has. The persistency with the content.
Yes.
And just your overall lifestyle. I think it is. You're used to it because it's you. I'm used to it because it's me. But this isn't how everyone lives. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a lifestyle, and it's something that you have to really truly work towards. So I just think it's perfect.
It's different.
It's different.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I think with us, that's why we kind of click so quick. Nobody knows how me and Bryn met. I met her because I was speaking at her boyfriend's conference. So when we were
an entrepreneurship summit,
right? That's how we met. So literally, and Bryn was in the corner, being all quiet, like the little Gemini she was. She was so young. Bryn's young. So people don't even know because she's such a boss, but Bryn is a baby, and I love that about her because it just for younger people, it's literally an aspiration because you can do it too. And I think that she's such a great role model. So I'm giving Bryn her props.
Thank you.
Because I've known Bryn when she moved into the first store. So that just shows our little history. But when we first met, we were talking about business because you were just launching the products and stuff.
This was before I ever did services. This was pre anything. This was I was just launching the falsies.
Right.
And Sydnie you were with your cousin.
Yes.
They had a table, a vendor table, and she was sitting there and I was right next to her. I was just sitting at my boyfriend's table, a little bystander. And I don't think I've ever told Sydnie how intimidated I was by her, but I was so intimidated. I was who is this girl? She's in the beauty industry too, because at the time she was doing makeup consulting, and I was just I was so motivated, but also intimidated by her. Mm-hmm. And so that we met, but we didn't really
that was Delaware.
Fully, we didn't I don't think we had each other's Instagrams yet or anything like that. And then there was another summit in Connecticut. And that was we had to travel stay in a hotel, all that stuff.
And so we went out and partied.
We ended up going out together and besties ever since.
That was the best night ever. And then we've been besties ever since. And then when we kind of were talking about business and stuff, it was just Bryn and I literally during our sessions, we would make 6-figure business plans. When she's doing my lashes or my brows, we would literally be no, we need to do this. But we never had the time. So it's but I think we should start a business where we just make proposals and sell it to people.
100%.
Because our ideas, I don't know, something about it. But
I know. The three of us, I feel we could all pick on different
yes.
What's the word? points of like
we all have our niches.
Our niches.
That we can, like, collaborate.
Yes. Exactly.
A grand idea.
Yes,
exactly.
We should work on something like that.
But that's how Bryn and I met, and we've been besties ever since. And I'm just so thankful to be here. Like, this is just, I'm just so happy. I'm so proud of you guys. Like, this is just amazing. So I'm just so excited for
We're proud of you too.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, thank you.
When people say they're proud of us, we're like, we genuinely say it right back at you. Like, it's like you guys are doing so much. Like, come on.
Thank you.
I love it. But I love to be around it. I love to try. I don't have a huge circle. So the people that I want in my circle are people that can motivate me.
Same.
Yes.
Have the same lifestyle dreams as me.
Like-minded. Have goals.
Positive.
Yeah.
Positive.
Everything. So I feel like we all have that in common, though. We have small circles, but the people that we do have, it's like they're the ones.
They're lifers.
Yeah.
They're lifers.
Difference.
But I feel like it's just so important, especially when you're in business, because especially as a female, it's harder for us naturally in business. And then the minority female like myself, like it's very hard for business. We have to work 4 times harder. So it's like having people, and not even necessarily in the same like genre or niche, but like just in a community of knowing business, it's very motivating to have like a small circle of women that you can really pour into, and they can pour into you, and also you can network with, because like, for instance, you're in lashes, I'm in homeless services, right? Or I'm in marketing, but like, even though you're an esthetician and I'm in a totally different field, like we still do business every single day. We still manage money every single day. So it's really awesome when we can come together and kind of just put our brains like in different aspects, because we all see things differently. And I think that's how you grow like in business, like collaboration. I never
100%.
understand why, and we'll talk about gatekeeping later, because that was a big thing on my TikTok when I kind of went viral. But I don't believe in gatekeeping as a business owner, because you can't grow that way. Like the way that you grow is by networking and collaborating and helping people and giving them different, like, you know, props. Like even when me and Bryn first started talking, she gave me so much insight, and I was just like, wow, that's really smart. But I never saw it that way, right? So when you kind of pick your circle, like they have to be positive, number one. They can't be a hater, number two. And they also have to, you know, pour into you just as you are pouring into them, but also be able to give ideas and from a different perspective. That's like, didn't think about that.
Because someone like me, I always think I'm right? Like that's one of my downfalls.
Me too. I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah, like we always, and that's part of our, you know, perks too, is it's like not a bad thing, but it's also some flaws sometimes, because you know, you need to be able to put your pride to the side and listen to other people's ideas. And I think the fact that I have people around me that you guys can give me ideas and I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
Right.
That's saying something for me, because I'm really, really particular. I'm really like hard on myself and hard on my decisions. So I love the fact that I have you guys and people around me that like we can bounce ideas off of, and I genuinely feel like you're giving good ass information and value. Yeah.
Or like the caveat to that,
around, like,
it's like, okay, you think you're right all the time, but sometimes it's reassuring. Like, no, you're absolutely correct, Bryn. Stand on that. Like, you're not tripping. You're not overthinking. Like, you're absolutely correct. Don't stand down on it. Like, you know, stay where you said that you were going to do on that.
To be confident in your
Exactly, because sometimes we could be like, well, I think I'm right, and not have that reassurance. So if your group can really reassure you, and I think it's important, like you said, to have genuine input, because you don't want a yes person. Like somebody that's going to tell you yes in your circle all the time is bad for business, because they're a liability. They just want to see you do everything, and maybe not for the best motive. But if you can kind of have somebody that is going to tell you right is right and wrong is wrong, and you know, give you good input all the time, those are your people. Yeah.
And there's certain people for different things. Like obviously you have like your mom for, you know, maybe your morals, and you have you know, one person for business, whatever. But keeping that circle strong, I think, is the core of everything.
So the Miss Entrepreneur that we know that you are.
Oh my goodness.
We want to hear about your first independent business adventure.
Wow. So my first business adventure, I would probably have to say, I don't know. I've been like working since I was like 3. Like literally, like my family's had me like in the business. Like when I was a kid, my family's had our business for a very long time. So like I would go to like provider meetings with my mom, like when I was like 8 years old. So I'm sitting like in city meetings, like, so I was kind of trained, and I was always around adults. So I think that helped with my maturity, like early on. But my first venture, I'll never forget, I was like 14 and I wanted like these hair extensions. Like I wanted like a brand new weave or something like that. And my mom told me no. And at the time I was like just like venturing into YouTube, like before it was a big thing. And I'll never forget, like it was like $300, and my mom's a single mom, so it's like she was like, "Girl, that's like, a whole bill. Right. Like, we're not doing that for some bundles." And like, back then, that's probably like, if I was 14, that was probably like 2010, 2011. Yeah. So it's like they weren't even probably like, they were probably Remy, they were probably like synthetic like $300 bundles. Like, so my mom told me no, and I'll never forget. I stayed up that entire night and I emailed like all of these AliExpress vendors like, if you give me bundles, I'll review them on my YouTube. I'm an upcoming YouTube star. I probably had 50 subscribers. Like, I probably didn't even have a network to really like give them traction. But I said, if you give me these bundles, I got 5 companies the next day that like, gave me the bundles.
I promise you.
Yeah, I promise you. And I did.
That is so cool.
So that's kind of how I got into the whole content creation. And back then, when I was like in high school, like I wanted to be a makeup artist. That was like when MAC was really big, and like, you had like all different types of like Jackie Inas and like Jeffree Stars, like were just coming out and stuff before the drama, like, when it was like good and wholesome, like Desi Perkins and like those types of people, like Christy and the one girl, I think her name's like Amy Fan or like something like that. That was like when YouTube was really big, and that's why I created my YouTube channel, because I was making makeup videos. So I started working with brands and started getting like makeup products, and then I came out with my own product, and then that's how I started going on different talks and conferences and stuff like that.
So innovative.
So that's how it all started. It all started from bundles.
But that's crazy, because it's a really interesting take on the fact that you were reaching out to them. And did you have some sort of script?
I did. Okay. I don't know how my brain could even process to do that at 14.
Yeah, no, crazy.
But I came up with a script. So, and I still do this to this day. I was about to ask. Like, first of all, if you're a business owner, get Google Drive. Like, they're not sponsoring me, but like literally Google Drive is like the love of my life. Like, you have everything right there. You can work from anywhere. If I'm on vacation, I can work with my, people, my staff at my company. Like, it's just great because you could be interactive and you don't have to do all that emailing back and forth. Totally. It saves automatically. Like, they should be sponsoring me. But
maybe after this,
Google sponsor me. But I created a draft template, and it basically was just like, hello, insert name here. My name is Sydnie. And then it was kind of like a media kit before media kits were a thing. Yeah. And it was like, I have this many subscribers. I get this many views. I'm willing to do a review for product. I wasn't even asking to get paid at that point. And I was like, if you just send me, these bundles or this makeup, and then I'll, put it on my Instagram. And back then it was Facebook and all those different types of things. And I would just kind of insert the name of whatever company I wanted to work with. Now, it's important when you have these drafts, you actually know the company that you're dealing with. You're not just copy and pasting and sending it to a whole bunch of random people. Like, actually know the company and you want to work with. But that's what I did, and it worked. And after I started getting traction, like I was getting in high school, like free hair, free makeup, free clothes were being sent to me. And after that, like working with brands, other brands wanted to work with me because they saw that I was but not knowing I was the one reaching out, not them.
Right. They don't know.
I truly believe in taking initiative, like especially when you're starting out. I mean, even now, like if I want to work with a brand, I have no pride on like being like, hey, I want to work with you. Hey, my name is Sydnie. I want to work with you. And the worst thing, and this is my motto of life, the worst thing they can do is say no. Like you're already at like level 0. You can't go any lower. Exactly. So
you have nothing
if they say no, you move on. But like the best thing is they can say yes. The best thing is you can get paid. The best thing is you can get a sponsorship, a relationship, a partnership with this brand that can give you exposure to other brands. So
I think that's overall the whole main theme in just business in general is taking risk, like just going out and being
putting
like
yourself out there.
Calculated risk.
Calculated risk.
Calculated risk. Calculated is important because when I reach out to brands, like I know for a fact, like I said, the worst thing they can say is no. I'm not losing anything in that exchange. Right. So, but I can gain a lot in that exchange. That's a great calculated risk. Now, if I had to put money out to like get the hair and like it's synthetic, that's different. I lost $300, but it worked out.
You don't know unless you try.
Exactly.
You won't know. And you have, like you said, you have nothing to lose, so just go for it.
That's how I did TikTok.
Send that email, send that text, post that TikTok.
You have to, in business, you literally have to get out of your head because nobody and nothing else matters. Like when I do business, I don't care about anything or anyone because they don't pay my bills. I pay my bills.
Period.
And therefore, I have to put myself out there, whether it looks weird, wonky, or crazy, because I'm the one that sees the vision.
Exactly.
Everybody might not get it right now, but they might get it when I'm doing it. Like, for instance, when I did the whole TikTok thing, people are like, why are you posting on TikTok like every single day? And I'm like,
getting to my soul.
I'm like, I have a vision. I'm like, if I post, like, I wasn't going to take it serious. But like when I started taking serious in December, I was like, I'm just going to post every day at 9 a.m. No expectations.
Okay.
Like, it's not a lose for me. It's not like, I'm getting anything out of this. I'm not getting paid from TikTok yet. So I'm just going to post it. I had 140 followers in December 14th. I started. Today's
Literally.
the 10th of February. I have 57,000 followers.
Almost 60K.
I'm almost at 60K in like a little over 6 weeks. So it's like, you can't, if I would be like, oh, this looks dumb, or, oh, I'm not, made up, and I don't have makeup on, I'm just posting. No, I'm just posting content because this has nothing to do with anybody else but me on my platform.
Yes.
So
This is resonating so deeply with me.
It is.
Like, I just feel like there's so much judgment around from other people, whether it be strangers. We recently had that, just like a random stranger we didn't know was just talking shit on us. And we were just like, what? Like, it's just, I don't even know you.
You don't know us.
It can come from people you love.
Exactly.
And care about even sometimes, which is the most hurtful. But being able to, deal with it and recognize it.
learn to be your own support system.
And not letting those opinions like alter your dreams or goals. Like, if I stopped when somebody made fun of me, I remember when I decided to do lashes, I literally seen a DM with a girl saying like, oh, like she didn't mean for me to see it, but I seen it, and it was like, oh, she thinks she can do like something like that. She thinks she can do lashes.
And look where you are 2 stores later, and look where she is.
Okay, yeah, if I had stopped
If you would have stayed in your head,
where would I have been now?
And you know what? It's not even, I feel like when people give those opinions, and I'm doing air quotes for the people that can't see me, it's literally not opinions, it's projections.
It's self-reflection.
It's literally, you're projecting your insecurities on me, and that's not my problem. That's your therapist. I don't have time for that. What I have time for is what I'm trying to do, because what you're scared to do is not my problem.
I'm not scared of it.
I'm not scared at all. Like, you know me, I'm never scared.
Right.
So I always want to try, the new thing. I always want to put myself out there, because that's how you grow. You can't grow in comfort. Like, you cannot sit there and be like, I want to do this. I've been doing this for 10 years. Okay, well, the trends have changed in 10 years. When I was at Penn State, that's where I went to school, they literally told us freshman orientation, by the time that you're a senior in business school, the trends are already going to be changing. The information you learned freshman year will no longer be valid. So if you've been doing the same thing for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you need to switch it up, because it's not going to be the same of what we're doing now in 2023.
That's so true. That's so true. That's another thing with business. You got to stay on top of it. You got to be rolling with the punches.
You have to know.
In with the trends. That's why, like, we talk about this sometimes. Social media for us can be a little draining sometimes.
It can.
Because we're definitely introverts. So it's like a lot sometimes to like express yourself and show your personality. But making sure you're consistent with that, and being patient with yourself and allowing yourself to have those boundaries, but continuing to do it, continuing to step out of your comfort zone.
Consistency is key.
You just got to keep going.
Yes.
Keep it pushing.
Yes.
Keep it pushing.
Yes. So before we move on to our next topic, I suggest our viewers take out a pen and paper to take notes, because this content's pretty fire right now. I'm here for it.
Yes.
I love
The
that.
value is real with this episode. Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, Miss Sydney, the next thing we want to know is, what does an average day in your life look like? I know it can look a little different, being your own boss.
It
and doing your
is.
thing, but we are big believers in rituals and routines.
Absolutely.
And we want to hear what you got.
So I'm a Capricorn. We are big on, and you're a Virgo, so I know how you feel about this. And you're a Gemini with a Virgo, so I know she's got you on track with routines. But routines are big for me. They're very big for me. I've had to learn through the years. I think now in like my later 20s, I can't believe I'm even saying that. It's giving me the ick. But my later 20s, with maturity, I've grown to be able to pivot when things get out of routine, because before, like, I was so set that I'd be like, what? No, like, we can't do that. But now it's like I'm more going with the flow. But the average week for me, so I work at my family's company. I'm on 4 days. So I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I'm off Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's nice because, like, a senior management, like, and I only work for about 6 hours. I'm usually in there, like, by 9 or 10, and I usually leave by like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, just so I can like see the different shifts change because we're 24 hours since we're emergency housing.
Yeah.
So usually like what I try to do is on the days that I have work, I'm up at 6 a.m. Like whether I have meetings at 9 or not, like I'm up at 6, usually every day, but specifically on the days that I have work, I get up, pray, meditate, do my journaling. I brain dump every single morning, no matter if it's me posting about how many TikTok followers I had that day or me posting like a weird dream that I had or like, it's just good, especially as a business owner. And even if you're just trying to get into entrepreneurship, it's good to get the thoughts out of your head before you start your day because it just kind of cleanses you. Like whatever was going on the night before, whatever's going on in the morning, sometimes we can get overwhelmed because we're like, we have so much to do. I write a list of everything that I need to do so I'm not overwhelmed and I just get to see it head on. And then I'm usually out the door probably by like 9 o'clock or like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I get into the office by like 8:45, 9. I try my best. So I might leave a little bit earlier. I might have Pilates in the morning because I do that now. And
She's a Pilates girl.
I am a Pilates girly. And sometimes, but I only do that on Tuesdays. I go early in the morning so I can get to work. Because I'm like, if I want my staff to be on time, then I need to be on time. That's big for me.
Set the example.
So exactly. So I usually get in by like 9 or 10. I don't even like sit down and like eat. I literally put my stuff down and go do a tour of like my facilities, check on the staff. And we have like a pretty big staff. I think we're like almost at 50 people. So between our facilities, we have 4 different programs running right now. I'll make sure that everything's good, make sure the kitchen's good. Like I'm just kind of in all departments. I'll do the work that I need to do. And usually like, because I'm so organized, I'll have my board for the month. So I know exactly what I need to do like each day. And working for the city, the due dates for like reports and stuff really never changes. So like I know in every single month on the 7th, it's either like a Friday or a Monday this report is due. So I just break it down so I don't get overwhelmed because I do have anxiety. So it's like I try to make it like as easy, my life as easy as possible so I don't get overwhelmed.
You are good with like the lists and I always
have a list. Like food shopping to business, I have a list. It's just helps me personally, and I know that doesn't work for some people, but finding what works for you so you can have some type of organization, because that's pretty big when you're doing business.
I don't see how a list couldn't work.
I don't know.
Like
some people
I know it doesn't, but I can't. Me as such a list person, I'm like, I don't see how
they're great. The Notes app is a godsend.
The amount of shared notes we have between each other
is so good.
Like,
and I feel like you're more productive. And I even like, this is a little tedious, but I break my list down, like my daily to-do list. So I have 10 things that I always try to hit every single day. And then it's my daily list that is like broken up in ABC. So I have,
I just saw that.
I'll have like 3 things. Sometimes it's like 10, but like 3 things like I absolutely have to do that day. And then there's like some things coming up in the week that'll be on the B list, and it'll be like, okay, I should do this today, but I can do it tomorrow. And then the C list is like, that's next week, girl. Like if you hit it today,
like a ranking.
It's cool. But like if you
list.
don't, you can relax. Like you can pick Netflix over this thing because you have time. But then like the 10 things that I try to do every day is like water intake and like making sure that like, you know, I'm reaching out to my friends. I literally had that on my list.
I need to do that.
No, because like, you know, like it's hard because
I'm the worst.
It's okay. She loves me, I promise. But literally like I'll be ripping and running and I'll look up and it's like 4 o'clock. Like, and I'm like, I didn't text any of my friends today. And like, I'm trying to be more intentional with that because, you know, you have to pour into your people.
circle.
Yeah. So, then like I'll be done usually around like 3 or 4. I check on like my next shift because we have a 3 to 11 shift. So I'll check on my manager and then I'll make sure like her shift is good. And then I'll go home because I live like 40 minutes out from my job. So I don't like staying till 5 because the traffic is horrendous in Philly. So usually I'll just go home and then I'll either go to Pilates in the evening. If I went in the morning, then I'll just kind of chill, maybe go for a walk. Cook dinner. I'm trying to cook dinner more because it's hard. By the time you get home from work, it's like I am tired, bro. I just want to go eat
standing
out.
in the kitchen. You just want to pick something up.
The other day, I fully came to the realization that that feeling of sometimes, you know, you get so overwhelmed and you're like, I will never have to not feed myself.
Exactly.
Like there's certain things that they can just feel exhausting sometimes when you think about it. You're like, every day for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to feed myself.
Exactly.
I'm going to have to bathe myself.
Adulting's so ghetto.
Nobody talks about it.
Doing the most.
Nobody literally talks about it. Me and my mom were literally talking about getting like a private chef or something like to meal prep for it. Cause like not even to sound bougie, but it's just when you're running businesses, you don't have the time. And like as much as I spend on groceries, I have the intention to, but they just look at me me.
trash.
They look at me in the
just look at
fridge.
you.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry. We do this every week. And I promise, like, one of these weeks, it's going to be the change. But it's just not today. Like, you know, I just had a budget meeting. The city just told us, like, they cut a building or something. Like, it's just a lot of stuff goes in the day. And the type of job that I have, it's like, it would be different if I'm sitting there doing, like, you know, intake work and stuff. Even though that's great. But I use my brain straight for 6 to 8 hours a day. From the time that I get up, not even when I'm not at work, me and my mom are on the phone, like, all right, we have this to do, we have this to do. That's 7:30 in the morning. Sometimes we're talking about this at dinner at 8 o'clock at night. So
for the next day.
Right, for the next day. So it's like I'm using my brain all day. And by the time that I get home, I just want to chill. But I'm trying to cook dinner. Long story short. And then I'm usually to bed by, like, I'm a grandma. I'm like 9:30, 10. Like, I if I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I'm miserable.
How do you like to unwind in the evening?
Usually I like to read. I'm trying to read a book a week. That's my goal for 2023. Like, February 1st was the new year for me. January was a tester month. Plus I was away. So I was like,
it wasn't tester month.
it was not it. So I'm just like, February, we're trying to read a book a week. So I like to read. I like to, I watch this one lady. This is so funny. I watch this one lady named Anna Bay, but she's an etiquette coach. And like, I watch her because she has like programs and stuff. So like, I'm always trying to like re-up and make myself better.
Love it.
And then I'll probably watch like maybe an hour or two on like Netflix or something, or like catch up on my shows. And then I'm asleep by 9:30, like shower to bed, straight to bed. Straight to bed.
I love it. We should definitely start a book club.
Oh my goodness, we totally should.
We love reading, and we're trying to like be more accountable with reading.
We should.
I think that would be so fun.
We definitely should.
Book club for the girls.
We need to talk about that. Coming soon.
Coming soon. Wait on it. Is there one thing specifically that you feel like helps you turn your brain off? Because that transition sometimes from work to home is
screens.
impossible. Okay, no screens.
No screens.
Okay.
I put my phone on the charger. My charger's in my bedroom. It's like on the stand-up one.
Right.
Because sometimes we'll just be sitting there watching TV on our phone, and I'm like, you're not even being
That's
present.
like double
screens.
stimulation.
So what I do is, I won't say no screens, but minimal screens. I definitely put my phone on the charger, and then my phone's on, I have it like on silent, like do not disturb.
You always have it on do not disturb.
Always. But like, I have it on fitness now. Fitness, when you're working out, they won't let you like, nothing comes through, which is fabulous because I put it on fitness all the time. Like, it's great. So especially like at like probably like 8:30, I'll like turn it off, and then like if I'm like talking to somebody or whatever, then like I'll call them or call my mom or whatever. But usually I'm just like winding down and like no screens, a good bath with the eucalyptus in the shower. You know what I'm saying? Like,
gotta really
those different types of things. Every day self-care. Yes.
Agreed. That's a huge part of staying sane.
And then the weekends or whatever, like the weekends, like literally this weekend,
open.
I'm going to New York tomorrow, and then I'm literally going to like the Eagles thing downtown on Sunday for the Super Bowl. So it's like the weekends I do whatever, but like my weekdays I'm pretty structured. So.
Okay, so that was another one of the questions I had was balancing work and social life.
Absolutely.
So like, how do you feel? Is it keeping your weekends open that you feel works for you, or what? How do you balance that? I know you also talked about having it on your to-do list. We touched on it a little bit, but is there anything else notable that you think is a tip for like balancing work and social life?
So what I'll say is, because I used to be like that when I was younger, I used to be that entrepreneur, like that was like, oh, there's no such thing as work balance. It absolutely is. And I think that's the easiest way to get burnt out is by just working and not doing things for yourself and your people. So what I try to do is I'll look at the month. I'll look at like what friends' birthdays I have or what events I've already like, you know, RSVP'd for, or like if we have to do like something like this, right? Like this is on a Friday. So usually my day's off on Thursday, but I just switched it because I'm like, I'm going to be with Brittany and then I'm going to go get my hair done and then I'm going to go chill. Like, you know, so I kind of just like schedule it. Now, if things kind of pop up, like I'm trying to be more spontaneous as a Virgo and Capricorn. That's kind of hard for us. Absolutely. Because we're like, no, we need 72 hours to make an outfit. No way. But I'm trying to be more spontaneous. So it's like, if I know like I don't have a lot to do at work that specific day, like my busiest weeks in the month, there's usually like 4 to 5 weeks in a month. It's usually week 1 and week 2. Week 5 and week 4 is like my easiest weeks. So I do more fun things there because it's like, if I choose to kind of like stay home or work from home, it's like, it's not a big deal where I'm really busy week 1 and week 2. So, but I definitely like make sure like I'm not a club girly no more. Like I'm too old. I'm not meeting my husband in the club. Like I there's just no reason I need to be there, you know? So I'm more so like lounges. Like I love going to Ashton's, which is a cigar lounge in Philly. I love going to like JG Sky High, which is one of the bars at the Four Seasons. Like it's on the 60th
You love
floor.
a good restaurant.
Love
Your
a good
little
restaurant.
food
Yeah, like
always appeal to me. I'm like, I need to ask her where she goes. I need to
I'm
make
gonna
a
send you a
trip every
potential
weekend.
list.
Please. Recommendations.
But like I like those things more, and I just feel like also like the caliber of people is just more intriguing to me at this part of my life, because I can relate more so to the topic than like I'm in the club like and a girl's twerking next to me like on some man, and I'm just like sitting there awkwardly like what's going on.
I'll never forget. I was in Miami.
Yes,
and I text Sydnie. Because I'm like, nobody else really can relate to what I'm about to, like, I have a question. I'm texting Sydnie, I'm like, I have a question. I'm like, when you're in the club, what are you doing?
Chilling with my sunglasses on.
It was a straight answer. She was like, sunglasses on, minding my business. I said, same. But why do I feel awkward? I don't feel awkward because I know that's my true self.
Right.
But like, when you're the type of girl that we are, it's almost like a little uncomfortable to be surrounded by all these girls acting in so much of a different way than you. It's not that I care. Like, I love that for them. I'm not judging.
It's just a different vibe.
I'm not like that. So I was in the moment, I was like, let me text Sydnie, because I was feeling insecure about the fact that everyone else was so comfortable around me throwing their ass. And
absolutely not.
You know, I was just like, that's honestly not me. And I don't want to break my character to act like that, because it's just not like how I genuinely feel inside. And I think there needs to be a space for those girls.
I'm going to speak to the girls right now. I hope I'm not too close to the mic, but I'm going to speak to the girls right now. If you are feeling that way, and absolutely not, Bryn, never be secure or insecure.
Well, now I'm not, because I got validated.
Right. But literally what I'll say is this, and I'll tie it back to the original point. Media right now is ghetto, okay? Nobody's going to say it, but I'm not scared of conflict, so I'll say it. It's ghetto. Like, all of this being naked on Instagram, all of this, and I don't have nothing against Cardi B or, you know, Jada Wada or Ari or whoever those girls are. I personally don't watch reality television. I don't put that drama in my head. Like, I don't watch The Housewives. I don't watch the Love and Hip Hop. I've never been into that. My mom didn't even have me on that, like, because I just don't want to put that type of vibe or energy into myself while consuming it, while watching it. So
it taints your perception.
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of these young girls, like my niece is literally like, she just turned 20, and I would not want to see her at Noto downtown Philly, like shaking her ass, because I'd be like, what are we doing? Like, you know, like that's not you. And it's okay. But I feel like because a lot of, first of all, a lot of young girls don't have mentors. A lot of young girls don't have role models because their moms are doing it. Like I see a lot of when I go out, because I have a lot of guy friends. Like we said, we have a little female circle, but I have a lot of guy friends, and a lot of them are party promoters and club owners, and you know, they own bars and restaurants and stuff, especially in Philly. And when I go out, I've never in my life said, "Ooh, I want to go to the club." It's never that.
It's to support.
It's my friends throwing this. They asked me to come. I'm going to go support my friend. It just so happens to be at the club.
There's nothing wrong with going to the club.
Absolutely not. But you don't have to act in a certain manner. And I feel like a lot of young women, older women too, they are in this BBL culture. They're in this, I have to shake my ass at the club culture, because they think that's what they think that's what people want to see, and they think that that's what men want, and it's not true. And it's like, you could totally, like, if anybody knows me, I am the girly with my big Gucci glasses on in the corner with my tequila and Red Bull. Like I don't have to do all of that, and I get just as much attention, if not more. From any of the guys in there, from any of the girlies in there that want to know where I shopped at, or like, you don't have to do that. Most of my pictures on Instagram, I'm fully covered. Like I never have a picture. I don't think I even have a picture where like I'm fully exposed, like top and bottom. Like that's not my vibe. I wasn't raised that way. And once again, nothing's wrong with it. Not hating on nobody. But if that's what you like to do, girl power, go for you. But if you feel that you have to do that for attention or to get people to like you, I'm telling you right now, as a successful woman, you don't have to do that.
People. That's something else. You're not going to attract the right people.
Exactly, Miranda. Say it again. You're not going to attract the right people. No. So I feel like, don't fall into the pressure. Like, I've never been one into peer pressure. Like, even though, like, some of my friends, they're super ratchet, and I love them to death. Like,
We love
that's
that.
their thing.
Right.
Like, absolutely, do what you do. And, like, they will be, you know, right at Mirage on South Street twerking it up. And I love that for them. But me, you're never going to see that. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, if I'm famous in 20 years, right, I don't want nobody pulling me up on the Shade Room.
Thank you.
Twerking on some random man that don't even matter 20 years later when I'm trying to run the bag up. So that's what I'm thinking about. But a lot of people don't think that way.
They don't think like that.
You know?
It's because you know your long-term goals and you know, like, what you're planning on achieving. And you know, once
and you
you're
know the
at that
image
point,
you want to put out there for yourself.
Exactly.
Yes.
And in order to get to the goals that we're trying to achieve, our image needs to be clean. Our image needs to be pristine and luxury and whatever.
Classy.
And classy.
And tasteful.
Yes. And I think it also has to do with your family. So, like, I know Sydney's family is amazing. And she comes from just so many, like, amazing, strong, beautiful, strong women. And I feel like it does play a huge role into it, but it also doesn't have to. So, like, if in your case specifically, your mom, your grandmothers, both of them were teaching you class, poise, tastefulness, everything, etiquette, everything.
Yes.
Same for my parents. I was in etiquette classes
Very
as a
young age,
kid
yes.
and doing those things. So it does play into it, but you don't have to go through that lifestyle. Like, just because you don't have those parents that are putting you in those classes doing those things, it doesn't mean you can't learn it. Like Sydney said, she's even she knows a lot of the things already, but she's still taking a course on etiquette
every year
as a woman,
every
and
year
trying to, you know, learn those things and portray herself in a certain way and really set herself up for long-term success. That's the whole thing.
You know why though, Bryn? Because so my mom had me do etiquette, like you said, like my grandmother, like when I was younger, but as an adult, it's up to me to upkeep it, right? And if you've never had etiquette training, you can start now. There's free YouTube videos, there's courses you could take online, in person. And I think it's important, whether you're male or female, especially in business, because a lot of the times, right, we want to be in the room with the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's and, you know, the Paris Hiltons and those types of people, right? And you can look the part, but if you don't know how to be the part, you're going to tell on yourself. And
100%.
like, it's really important. Like, let's just say, like, this is going far, but let's just say you get invited to the Met Gala and you have to go to the dinner at the Met Gala, which they have. I heard the food's not the best, but you still have to know the difference between a seafood fork and a salad fork and a dinner fork. You have to know the difference between a butter knife and a steak knife. You have to know the difference between a dessert spoon and a soup spoon. If you don't know that, they are going to know right away, and especially like those old money places that you want to be. Because I don't want to be rich; I want to be wealthy, sustainably wealthy. And you have to be in a room where you have to know how to upkeep your mannerism so you can be in the room without telling on yourself, whether you came for money or not. That's not the point. It's where you're trying to go. And I think improving, because you can have all of the lashes, weave, body in the world, but if you don't know how to, you know, talk about different topics that are intriguing, keep a conversation, if you don't know how to have etiquette or excuse yourself from the dinner table, they're going to know and they're not going to invest. Unfortunately, that's just the society we live in. But I think, you know, what I always tell people is, if you are trying to, you know, grow your brand, if you are trying to market yourself, right, think of where you want to see yourself, and this is basic, but 10 years, right? I have a 10-year plan. So I revised it when I was 25, and I'm on track right now, right? So I don't do certain things. I don't go certain places because it's not helping me get to my 10-year plan. It might be helping me right now, but 27-year-old Sydney's not going to help 35-year-old Sydney if I go there, right? That's putting me in harm's way. I don't need to be there. I don't need to be around those people. I don't need to be gossiping. I don't need to do that. I need to be focused on being positive and in positive places. That's going to give me not only exposure, but give me like community and network.
Setting yourself up for success.
Exactly.
That's
and you have to think, like you said, Bryn, long term, because if you're not, it's not going to go that far. And that's really important. So
and I think being firm in what you believe in and like having that plan, but really truly believing in it.
Stand on it.
Really truly standing on it. 10 toes. Like, this is what I'm going to accomplish, and I need to do X, Y, and Z to get there and make it happen.
See the vision. Like, you have to see the vision.
You
You can. You literally can. Like, you don't understand. You don't understand, but you really have to believe it. Like, like I always say, like, I'm living my best delusional life because I don't even understand how I'm doing it.
Like, imposter syndrome.
Like, literally, like, I was like, Bryn, like, I was sitting there like, And I think it's important also because sometimes, especially as business owners, we can get so worked up on trying to do the next biggest thing that we're not really present or like appreciate what we've already done. So what I did was I created a list of like all of the cool things, like small and big, that I've done. And I like reflect on it like all the time to like be like, no, you can really do this because you did that. Like I was 23 years old speaking on international television. Excuse me? Like
come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm literally
give yourself your flowers.
I'm literally 22, like speaking on panels and like what did I know at 22? I'm 22-year-old Sydney is totally different than 27-year-old Sydney, but I did it.
But you did it.
And it was possible. And if I could do it there with the less maturity, less experience, less exposure,
imagine what you
anything
can
is
do
possible now.
Exactly. I think of that too. Like I look back at how much I didn't know when I accomplished some of the things I accomplished, and I'm like, damn, I'm about to.
We're popping for real. Like we really are. Like we're all popping for real. And I just think it's amazing. But like I said, write that list and add to it. Like as I do more things, because there's going to be some hard days where it's like, why am I doing this?
For real.
And I pull out that list and I be like, that's why, because 24-year-old Sydney inspired another 24-year-old that they can speak on international television or do, you know, whatever the things that we did. So
agreed. It's very easy to forget your accomplishments and what you've actually pressed forward and achieved so far.
Yeah.
But I like that, writing it down and just constantly revisiting it and being like, dang.
Another list.
I did something fun. I saw this on Twitter for this new year. I did a like bingo card.
I love that. One of my friends did that.
Yeah, and it's so cute. I just made it on Canva. It was like a little bingo template, and I put in, you know, a lot of them were long shots to me. Like it was like revenue goals, like getting a certain tip amount, like whatever, just random business things.
And you're hitting them.
And girl, I'm already halfway through.
That's
and it's
the
February.
thing.
Like,
we downplay our goals so much. First of all, we downplay ourselves so much. Like, and I think that's just kind of like living in I told my mom, like, we are living in the mindset of delusion this year, because a lot of the stuff, like what I wanted for TikTok, I thought was a big reach, right? For TikTok, when I started doing it in December, I was like, I want 100,000 followers by the end of, 2023. Now, TikTok has a very aggressive algorithm, right?
Yeah.
So once you get traction, it's kind of easy to grow your platform.
Right.
I'm already at 57,000 followers and it's February.
crazy.
I wanted 100K by December.
That is manifestation, my friend.
Right there, prayer and manifestation. And my thing is, make your goals as big as possible. Because this is the thing, even if you don't hit it, so what?
So what?
You work towards
Only
something
you
bigger.
knew it too. Only knew your goal. So
exactly.
who cares if you hit it or not?
But if you're making small goals, like if
Try
I was
again.
like, I want 10,000 in the whole year, and I put that out there to God and the universe, it would be like, oh, well, I'm gonna give you 10K, but you could have had 1 million.
Right.
Stop selling yourself short. I'm going big. Because even if I don't
what do you have to lose?
Exactly. That's my thing. The worst you could get is a no. So at the end of the day, like, make your goals as big as possible. And even if you get halfway there, 40% there, you still did 40% more than you thought you could do.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's exactly right. And speaking of TikTok, I feel like this is a good segue into our next topic of any tips you can give to the girlies who want to go viral, who want to post content that is relatable
for the right reasons.
for the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, so how I started TikTok was I just saw, so I made the account in 2020 when like it was like popping off. I'm a late bloomer. Like anything that is trending, I'm like 2 years late. So my mom literally makes fun of me.
Like it.
Game of Thrones, like I watched it 2 years later, like when all the seasons was over. Like I'm
you
late.
let other people give you the 411.
Yeah, 'cause I don't like being on stuff when everybody's doing it.
Yeah,
so it's like I'm like, no, y'all beta test it out. I'm gonna do it when it's like solid. So in 2020, like I was talking to my one friend Yana. Shout out to Yana. She has 100K on Instagram, and she was like, "I'm about to start doing on TikTok." And I was like, "Ooh, that's a good idea." So, and literally, Yana, her growth was crazy. On Instagram, she had maybe like 5,000 followers in a year. She got to 100K. Dang. So,
and on Instagram,
Reels
That's
blew
hard
her
on Instagram.
up.
Yeah.
Reels blew her up. So she was like, "I'm about to start building on TikTok." So I was like, "You know what, Sid?" I said, "I'm gonna start just posting every day for a month. Let's see how it goes."
Right.
And I was like, we're not going to have any expectations. I'm not going to make a whole graph and, like how I usually do, like we need to hit this algorithm. No, like I don't know the algorithm on TikTok. This is new to me, and we're just going to have fun with it. We're not going to get made up every single day. Like this is how I am on the camera. This is me. Like I have eyebrows on and some weave-in, and that's me every day. Like I don't wear makeup to work. Like, on the days that we do get dolled up, great, we'll make some content, but I'm not just going to post content because that's not real life,
Yeah.
So TikTok, I was like, we're going to, since it's a less serious platform. It's more so like you can have fun on there and really be like as creative as you want.
Yeah,
I was like, we're just gonna have fun.
You don't have to take it as serious.
Girl, I started December 14th. Like I said, I had 100. I'll never forget. I screenshotted it and I sent it to Yana and I was like, I'm going to like literally be tracking the progress. Okay.
Coffee.
So I screenshotted my progress, like where I first started off, because from 2020 to like 2022, in 2 years, I had 140 some followers. So I screenshotted, sent it to Yana, and was like, all right, this is where we're starting off at, right? It's so Capricorn to me to like have like a flow chart. So I'm going on, I'm posting every day 9 a.m. Like every day at 9 a.m. I'm pre-drafting my content. So that's another thing. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's really important to make some content that you can have drafted so you're not posting in real time. One, for safety reasons, and two, so you're not overwhelmed and you have content. Like, even if you didn't shoot today, you have something you can post, which is important. Because consistency on TikTok it's so oversaturated. You have to be consistent.
I heard something saying you have to post like, if you post like 10 TikToks a day, every day, like you're destined to go
Absolutely
in
not.
the algorithm.
You're definitely, that's doing too much in my opinion.
Who can create 10 TikToks
I
a day?
posted one a day for 30 days at 9 a.m. So literally what I did was I would screenshot it and I'd be like, okay, we're at, 400. Now, I went to this restaurant named Huso, and I think you guys saw it. It's okay. But Huso is this caviar restaurant by Marky's Caviar in New York City. And Danielle, who was like this, she was trending. Like, she's this big caviar. Like, her family owns Marky's. She's the manager of Huso. So I was like, we're going to go there. They had a king crab leg caviar hot dog. I said, that's going to go viral. I knew that. Like, I knew it.
You can tell.
I'm thinking like 20,000 views, but I'm like, that's going to go viral. So sure enough, we go there. I posted that video. That video got like 100,000 likes, right? In like a week, right? That was my first like traction.
Okay.
So from that video, I went from 140 to 500 in like 10 days, right?
That's crazy.
Start getting traction, this, that, and the third. Now, it wasn't until I literally went through a midlife crisis. Like, I was literally having a whole mental breakdown on my Italy trip because I had the worst travel experience to get to Italy. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. They were saying like my passport wasn't valid. I had to get a new passport in 24 hours. Shout out to Senator Bob Casey. Literally was able to get us new passports. And like I have to give that story time on TikTok because it's literally it's the craziest story ever. But I had to go on my birthday down to Philly, like downtown, to get a new passport to possibly be able to go on my birthday trip. We were leaving the 9th. My birthday's on the 10th. Everybody on my birthday trip was there but the birthday girl. So me and my mom are like, we might not be going to Italy. And the next appointment they had was on the 22nd of the month. My trip was over on the 17th. So,
oh my gosh.
I didn't post a TikTok on the 10th. By the time I got to Italy, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, my TikToks aren't posting. Now I'm 6 hours ahead, Italy time. So I'm like, why are my TikToks posting? Now my algorithm's going to be messed up. I'm having another breakdown, like a Capricorn breakdown. Like
just one thing
my algorithm, like literally this is the 30th day. I'm not going to be able to post my TikTok. So it posted 2:30 a.m. Philly, or 2:30 a.m. Italy time, 8:30 p.m. Philly time, right? Now, I posted 9 a.m. That is not the time that I've been posting for a month straight.
Right.
So in my inconvenience, I'm like, this isn't going to get any hits. Now, the video I thought was pretty good because it's about my personal assistant trick. So I'm like, it's good content, but it's not going to get any views because my followers aren't, all 500 of them aren't looking to see it. Well, girl, I went to sleep at 2:30 a.m. On Rome time, I wake up because we were going to Milan, so we had to get up at 6:30 to be on the train by like 8 o'clock. 66,000 views. My best friend Yana is texting me like, girl, you're going viral. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm thinking it's like 1,000 views. I'm hyped for 1,000.
Yeah, right?
Like, oh yeah, I got this stack real quick. Yeah. I'm like 66,000 views in 4 hours. Wow. I didn't even get that much traction on the caviar hot dog one. Like I got 100,000 in a week. So she's like, oh, this is going to hit 1 million. I'm like, excuse me? Sure enough, I went from 500 followers that night that I went to sleep, or that morning that I went to sleep. 4 hours later, I had 5,000 followers.
Sheesh.
So then they're coming in, but they're flooding me with negative comments on the TikTok. They're like, delete it. Everybody's going to know about the trick.
Gatekeep it.
Gatekeep it. And I'm like, excuse me? I said, first of all, I'm from Philly. Like, you're not going to sit here and try to bully me on the internet. Like, you would not tell me this. I literally said on the response video, I was like, you wouldn't tell me this in real life, so we're not about to do this on the internet. So
that's the truth with a lot of these people.
What I saw was, it's funny because even with an algorithm, we can think that we have a system and then we get inconvenienced, but like the inconvenience helped me. Like maybe
it worked out.
Maybe
for
if I
you.
didn't post that video at that time, the algorithm wouldn't have picked it up.
That's
right.
So
and I wouldn't have
caught that wave.
57,000 followers today. Like that's crazy to me.
It
so
is crazy.
now I'm able to. I was able to monetize off of TikTok. Now an Amazon influencer. So I'm getting paid from Amazon. Thank you.
Nice.
And then I also, Instagram reached out because I saw my traction on TikTok and they were like, we want you to do Reels. So now I'm getting paid on Instagram. So my goal is in the next like 3 years is to really monetize on all platforms and then kind of be able to do content creation wherever I am. And like just be, because my platform, if you guys don't know, hi, my name is Sydnie Marlella. That's all of my handles. And my platform is all about luxury because like that's me. That's always been me. Like I love like a luxurious lifestyle, whether you have a budget or not. Like let's live luxuriously, even if it's self-care, if it's traveling, restaurants, whatever. So that's what I was just posting and it picked up.
Do you want to give like a little short synopsis of the TikTok that went viral?
So yes,
because I love it.
I was literally, but I even told you about this. I was literally doing this for years.
She's been doing this forever.
Yeah, I've been doing this for years. And I found it in 2020 from some other TikToker, which I did give her credit in my video. I was like, I learned it from somebody else. And she basically said, if you're booking restaurants, if you're booking hotels, if you're booking even flights, it works. It's a little bit harder, but definitely hotels and restaurants work easier. Book as if you have a personal assistant. So I use my grandmother's name, which is Elizabeth, and I say, I'm Elizabeth Bonicello, and I'm booking for Sydnie Marlella, and she would like to stay here or dine here or whatever. And they, I don't know why, but they upgrade you like every single time. I tried it on my ex-boyfriend's birthday, right? So I tried it on Shep's birthday, and shout out to Shep. And I was like,
not the ex shout.
Yes, the ex shout out. So I was like, you know, we were going to Steak 48 for his birthday. Now I booked it on the Resi app, like just as a regular person, just for a party of two. So when I saw the tip, I was like, oh, let me try it. So I called the restaurant and confirmed as my own personal assistant.
Right.
When we got there, they had a room for 4 people. Like we had a private room. We had 2 waiters to our table, a bottle of champagne on ice when we walked into the room. He's looking at me like, you did all this?
He's like,
and I'm
oh, wow, babe.
Y'all sure did.
That's all me.
That's all me right there. But in my head, I'm like, oh, this really worked. Now I just
But it
did
was all you though, if we're being honest.
I've been doing it ever since, and it works great. So when I stayed at the Four Seasons for their New Year's Eve party on New Year's Eve, and I did the same thing with the Four Seasons. Now, Four Seasons is a 5-star, hotel. So I did it for the Four Seasons. Sure enough, they upgraded my room. I had a bottle of champagne and gourmet popcorn snacks all on deck as soon as I walked in with a little welcome card, and they were like, that's how I made the video. So when I posted it, they were like, oh, well, this doesn't work, international, this doesn't, well,
you're like, well, I'm about to
hold
show
on.
Let me prove
Went
you
to
wrong.
Italy, did the same thing. I was like, hey, I'm booking for, Miss Marlella, this, that, a third. Sure enough, get to Italy after all of the drama. They upgraded me to a suite. Didn't have a standard room, and I just stayed at the same hotel in May because we were just in Italy in May.
Yeah.
So 6 months, a little bit more later, they're upgrading me to a whole suite. I had a whole bottle of champagne, macaroons, fresh fruit, all this stuff on ice. The suite was huge. Like I had like a living room with another TV. I had a dressing area where I could do my makeup. I had
That's
3
crazy for
window.
Europe.
Wow.
The bathroom, you know how small European
Yes.
bathrooms are? I had a whole sit-in tub, like just to chill, like
Okay,
on my
girl.
birthday. So I'm sitting here like
As
it
you
works.
should.
It works
I
every
love
single
that.
time. So that's how I kind of went viral. And then I made a response video that also went viral. So that response video, I think, is at 350,000
Yeah,
views.
that one's doing good too.
And then the original is at 1.7 million views.
Crazy.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Really crazy. And I think also with TikTok, I feel like putting your face and like talking works
Yes.
so much better on TikTok.
So much.
Reels is more like, I mean, it works on Reels too, but Reels is more like the
Cutesy
voiceovers,
little
the
clips,
cutesy little
yeah.
stuff, the clips.
TikTok,
TikTok
I will
is
say
personal.
what grew me the most is number 1, being consistent. Number 2, you don't have to be a content creator on there to see your analytics. Look at your analytics and see what time your following is on. So I started off 9 a.m. Now my following is 9 p.m. So I post at night now
And you
because
pivot.
that's where you have to,
Yeah.
because you don't have to be trendy, but you have to know the trends.
Yeah.
So if you see that your following has grown 50,000 followers in the last couple of weeks, well, you have to adjust to what they're doing because they're growing your platform. Also,
give them what they want.
Give them what they want. The biggest thing, and that's what I was trying to get here, the biggest thing was the eyebrow tutorial. I'm like, okay, I need to film this eyebrow tutorial because soon they're going to be over it, right?
So you got to keep,
you have to be on it. But a lot of the things that I was doing is, one, prepare your content, draft it up. Do not post in real time because that's how you get robbed. That's how P&B Rock is the biggest example of that from Philly. Like, that was so sad. But do not post in real time. Even on Instagram, post when you leave, because I know that's that's more of a real-time platform, right. But post when you leave. Like, if you're at dinner and you're going to the club later, post the dinner when you're at the club. Post the club when you're in the Uber home. Like,
that's smart.
You never know who's watching
you. You never know. And it could be your own circle plotting against you. You don't know, like, until it's too late. So definitely draft your content and then post, like, a week in advance or whatever. And then I would say know your following. Like, a lot of probably 98% of my content, like, followers are women. So, and they're, like, my age. So I know what they like they say, oh my gosh, like, I just did what I got in Italy, like, it was like a luxury haul and stuff, so I was showing them, like, the stuff I got from Gucci and Hermes and stuff, but I'm not showing them, and I told them, like, not in a bragging way, but, like, because you get this too, exactly. Like, and they were like, oh my god, I'm getting these glasses now and stuff, so they're engaging, and if they comment, respond back. That's going to boost your engagement. That's really big too.
Yeah, interaction
is building that relationship, that personable connection
with your followers.
And also, like, growing it on your platforms. Like, okay, I told them when I hit 50K, like, I thought I was going to hit 50K, like, probably by the end of February, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I hit 50K literally in 9 days. I said in 3 weeks we're going to do it. It was in 9 days. So I didn't even have time to go out and get the stuff that I was, like, trying to get for them for the giveaway. But my goal is to grow TikTok first, move those followers to Instagram, grow them both up, and then start doing YouTube again. Because, like, I just did the giveaway, so it's closing tomorrow. I'm going to pick the winner on Sunday. And those people, they had to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. So all of those followers that wanted to enter a Chanel giveaway, like, I'm getting them, like, the compact mirror, the blotting sheets, all that, like, the perfume or something like that.
Wait, when's it end?
It ends tomorrow.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you're listening, go enter, but you'll be too late.
It ends tomorrow, but I'm gonna do another one at 100K. But for instance, something that cost me, I think it's gonna cost me like $150, right? But I just got like 5,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah,
that's going to grow my platforms and make me more money for monetizing.
That's the calculated risk.
Exactly.
This is a quick one.
Okay.
Favorite clothing brand, one for every day, like, just like, it can be anything, and then one for, like, luxury.
Okay, every day I love Zara. I'm a Zara girly.
Yes.
And the one in King of Prussia Mall is pretty good. The one in Jersey in Cherry Hill is fabulous. I feel like Zara, you could just kind of get pieces that are like,
it's like staples.
Good, just staples, like really good. On a lower budget side, the Ratchet store. People would think I don't shop there, but my
it's called the Ratchet.
No, it's called Got the Look.
Oh,
it's called Got the Look.
It's like a rainbow.
It's like but it's called Got the Look on Fox Street. They also have one in West Philly. They also have a website. I'm promoting them. They should sponsor me. But Got the Look. I'll never forget that blue marble dress I wore for 4th of July last year.
What you're talking about.
It literally was $8. At the Ratchet store. One of my best fits. And I feel like fashion's always not about how much it is, because I'm always about, like, quality than quantity or, like, price. Yeah, it's 100%. Just about how you can put a fit together. So, but luxury brand, Hermes, hands down. Like, Hermes that's my girl. Like, love her.
I think top quality also is Hermes. Like, out of all of the actual quality of the leather.
Well, the people don't know about the brand. Yeah, like, first of all of their bags, like, when I first got my Birkin and then I got a Kelly, they're all hand stitched. They're not by machine. Like Chanel, I will never buy a new Chanel bag ever again.
I'm down for, like, a real Chanel bag.
Go to Fashion File because they're certified by Neiman Marcus.
And I heard the reals can be scamming.
Yeah, they can be, and they're too expensive. I do Fashion File because they're certified by Neiman Marcus. But but Hermes, they're literally so well crafted. Like, the leather, first of all, is so well crafted. It's one of the oldest fashion houses. You can see I'm really passionate about the brand. And also their products appreciate. So, like, if you buy a Chanel bag, once you buy it and take it out the store, you're not going to get the same value for it. My Birkin, my Kelly, it literally makes me 3, 4, or 5 times the money that I bought it for. And always buy, if you're going to buy those expensive bags, buy older, because the quality back in the 90s and, like, the early 2000s,
it's better.
So much better than what they're making now. Yeah.
Even on a clothes level, like, my mom kept some of her clothes from, like, high school, college time.
Yeah.
And, like, even just like a standard pair of Levi's.
Yeah.
It's like the quality
Totally
is
different.
Totally different.
Totally
and you have to
different.
think when it comes to designer as well, that's still the case. Like, yeah, they do have their own fashion houses and production and all that stuff. But of course their quality is going to go down because they are getting the supplies from someone else.
Right.
And the supplier's quality is down.
And it's the same. Like, for instance, a lot of people, and I think it's so important because just because you're making money to afford these things, you need to know the education on fashion. Like, I would never buy a Gucci t-shirt because they use the same rayon material that H&M does.
No,
right?
seriously.
It doesn't make sense for me to spend $500 on something that I can get for $5 at H&M or you know, Zara or one of those places. I hate a whole bunch of logos in an outfit.
No,
I can't stand it.
let's not do the logos anymore. We were in that era for a while, like a few years where everyone was just...
I wasn't in that era.
No, but I'm saying we as a collective.
I was never there, yes.
Like our society, it was like the full Gucci tracksuits with the GGs everywhere.
It's too much.
It's just too much.
You have
Louis
Louis Vuitton, you have Gucci, you have and all these, like, first of all, I think the biggest flex is having on, let's just say, a $10,000, $20,000 outfit and nobody knows
but you.
I think that's the biggest flex. Like,
Right.
nobody knows but you, but the quality of your outfit, you can see, like, that's rich. Like, that is giving, like, that's giving wealth. But when you have every designer that you have and you own on in one outfit, it's like, come on, bro. Like, that's not what it is.
You're telling on yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're telling on yourself that you just use your stimulus to buy that Gucci
The
tracksuit.
PPP was real. Okay, PPA was real out here. Meanwhile, I was working the whole time. I didn't get none of that.
Another quick one, favorite restaurant. You can do local, do Philly.
Ooh, I'll give you a couple. Favorite restaurants, definitely love. Now, y'all can't be flooding these places now because I'm not trying to see everybody there. But at the same time, love Pietro's. I feel like that's a really good place to go. Love Pietro's. It's Italian. I love Vietnam Cafe in West Philly. They have some of the best Vietnamese food ever. I definitely love JG Sky High. Terrible food, but great drinks. Like, if you want an aesthetic, terrible food.
But the aesthetic
terrible
is
food.
Like 10 out of 10.
Love going there. I go to the Four Seasons all the time, but I love them. If you want really good drinks, Ashton Cigar Bar has really good drinks too. Mirage Lounge on South Street. If you're into like a hookah lounge, best lamb chops, better than Capitol Grill. Absolutely better than Capitol Grill.
You always
love
say
Capitol
that.
Grill though. Only one in King of Prussia. And ask for the secret menu. They have fried lobster tails. Those are really good. And then probably like, I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of like Del Frisco's. I do like Steak 48. I do like Eddie V's. I do like Ocean Prime, like those type places.
Ocean Prime
Favorite place of all time though, I can go anytime. Oyster House. You know how I feel.
Yeah,
Oyster House.
You know how I feel about
too.
oysters.
Yeah.
Love them. So
Yeah.
Travel
Okay, that
tips?
was good. Travel tips for the girls.
Ooh.
This is what we have left. Travel tips for the girls. Plug all platforms, and then we're gonna pull an affirmation of the day.
Okay.
Travel
Travel tips. I've done a lot of traveling in my lifetime. You know, for me to be 27, I really be feeling like a 45-year-old woman. Like, I really think I'm Martha Stewart in my head. Like, truly. No, seriously. Like, with, like, her land in New York, with, like, all her peacocks on the land and stuff. Like, that's me. That's going to be me.
I love.
But traveling, so I've been to a lot of countries. Like, I've traveled internationally a lot since I was, like, young. Like, my mom, shout out to my mom, shout out to Gina. She's definitely had me and my family like out the country, and also my grandparents on my dad's side like has had me traveled, and like they're from the islands. Like, we're from Montserrat on my dad's side, so we traveled to like the islands. I've traveled to India, I've traveled to Jamaica, Ireland, Canada. Never been to Mexico. Italy. I've been to Italy 5 times. Like, yeah, that's my country.
That should go too.
I love Italy. That's like home for me. But my biggest travel tip would surprisingly be put an air tag in your suitcase. That is a big thing because it is so big to like lose your luggage. Like, that's a thing. And that's one of my biggest fears. But putting an air tag gives me like a little sense of security because
Has it
you
happened
can always
to you?
see where, no, it hasn't, but it happened to my family and a couple of my friends. And all of their stuff was like in there. I never put my jewelry. My jewelry is always either on me or
carry-on.
on my carry-on.
Yes.
And not in a suitcase, because sometimes if it's a full flight, they'll check your suitcase, put it in like a backpack or your bag, and take pictures of your outfits before you leave. Because number one, for insurance purposes, like put your jewelry together and stuff. Because if they lose your luggage, like you have like $3,000, I think that like they'll reimburse you for. I mean, it's not much, but at least it's something, and you know what you're wearing
You need
too.
to have the proof of it.
Yeah, and put your stuff, put your stuff in the safe at the hotel, but keep your passport on you always.
Do you travel with your expensive jewelry?
Always. I usually, because like my diamond studs I never take out. Like these are like the lock studs, so like I have to screw them off.
Yeah.
But like my tennis bracelets, like absolutely, like I'll bring like my Hermes bracelets, but I'll carry them with me even when I go shopping. Like when we went to Italy and I was like shopping at Hermes and Gucci and like all those places, I had my carry-on bag, and that's another great tip. I'll say that in a second. But my carry-on bag had all of my expensive items because I was not packing that. Like, no way you were getting me for $3,000 shoes. Like, no. But I will say, if you can, like, if you're going on a shopping trip, like when I go to Italy for my birthday, it's not because it's my birthday. It's because it's their bank holiday. So everything for the week from the 6th to the 13th is literally 70% off. Doesn't matter if it's designer. Doesn't matter if it's local. It's sale in Italian is soldi. So like you'll see soldi like everywhere. That's crazy. I bring all of my clothes and pack light when you go to Europe because like nobody has time to be like like you're going to have the fits, but you're going to be picking up stuff that you've never seen. Use that for your fits. Like don't bring a whole bunch of stuff so you can bring a lot home. And I always pack all of my stuff on my carry-on suitcase and my carry-on bag, and then I check 2 empty suitcases. So when I go shopping, like whether it's for like we went to this truffle store in Venice and I literally got like 20-year age balsamic vinegar. Like those types of things take up space in a suitcase. Yeah. So like I pack 2 empty suitcases, bring all that stuff back, and then I put all of my personal stuff on my carry-on so I don't lose any of my clothes or my jewelry.
Smart. Yeah. That was a good one to throw in there.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good tips.
I feel like we're about at the end.
We did a lot.
We accomplished a lot of different topics.
We so
I'm trying to
fun.
think off the top of my head if we missed anything, but I feel like we did a lot.
I was taking so many mental notes.
Oh, tell them to come to Pilates. Come to Pilates with me.
Oh yeah.
Pilates girl.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
This was amazing. I feel like it was between travel tips, content tips, just like self-care, self-love, all that stuff.
Living luxury, even on a budget. She caught up. She's dead.
It's okay.
She's dead.
Okay.
Hi.
My camera. It always dies at the end. It's okay.
It's okay.
But yeah, living luxury is, like you said, it's not always about
it's obtainable.
Having the money to live luxury. It's about creating luxury within what you have access to,
and I'm telling you, fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
this
fake
is
it till
the
you
thing.
make it, and then strive for more.
This is the thing. Like, don't think and have your priorities in line. That's my biggest takeaway for living a luxurious life. Please don't go broke trying to impress people. Right. No, I live a luxurious lifestyle for myself, but like at the same time, you have to have common sense what works for you. Like, yeah, I have a Birkin, but I have a Honda. Like, I'm not pushing a Mercedes around because my Honda's paid off. Right. I don't have a car note. That makes more sense than trying to flex and have some, luxury car. Now, when it comes to that, absolutely. But for right now, I'm great with my Birkin and my Honda. Right. So, and it's still living luxurious, or even like with the clothes and stuff.
But within your means.
Exactly. Like invest in what you can and do it piece by piece. Like when I first started getting in like to Neiman Marcus cashmere sweaters, right? Like a 3-ply cashmere sweater can cost you up to, $300 or $500. But sometimes they go on sale. Like they'll have like a 30-20 sale and they'll be like $120. Well, if you save up your money in your fund account, every, check or two, put some money up so you can, have a capsule wardrobe or take a nice trip or fly first class. Like I started only flying first class probably in 2019, like right before the pandemic. I've never gone back, but I've racked up, points. I've gotten a travel card. Like there's ways to do it where you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money, but kind of work your system and work your program.
Yeah. Create that life for yourself, but don't put too much pressure to live the life before you're ready.
Do it piece by piece.
Do it piece by piece and get a taste of it. If you've never lived a luxury type of life and you've never, spoiled yourself, and because there's a lot of women out here that haven't, they don't indulge in, self-care and self-love and even just
your
shopping
biggest
and
investment,
things like that.
Your biggest investment is yourself.
So find what makes you happy. Just because what makes us happy is buying purses and shoes,
right?
Doesn't mean
buy real estate too.
First of all, what makes you happy.
And that's another thing with priorities. Like when I started buying the bags and I started buying the clothes and stuff, I already had my priorities. Like I already had a full-time job. I already had a full career. I was paid a great salary. I had real estate. Like we have different things set up already where it's like, okay, now I can
kind of pays
splurge.
for itself at this point.
Right. So it's like, if you're out here, living in your mom's house, which nothing is wrong with that. But if you're out here buying Birkins while living at your mom's house, your priorities are out of whack.
Priorities are not
Get a house, get a car, do those things first, be a responsible adult, put the money to the side of your disposable income. And listen, like if you have these goals, you have to work towards them. Yeah. You cannot just sit here and look at your vision board all day and not like hustle. Like when I wanted something, I didn't depend on my mom to go get it. Like even at 14, she told me at a young age, like you're going to have to go out and work for it. And that's something that
I'm going to mentally support you.
But you can't be lazy. Like, I mean, you can take it the lazy way, but that's not always the best way to do it. It's not going to be a sustainable way. But if you're really hustling and sitting there making, you know, a life for yourself, it took me, you know, 10 years to do this. Like this wasn't an overnight thing, but I think once you kind of know what you want, you can work towards it and then kind of build on that. So
agreed.
Yeah.
That was such a good little tip. That was such a good little addition. I thought we were wrapping it up, and then we threw we threw that little gold nugget out at the end.
Yes. So, Sydnie, I know you mentioned prior before, but why don't you put out your platforms? Let them know where they can find you.
So I don't have a Twitter, and I'm not on Facebook. I mean, I have a Facebook, but like, who uses Facebook? Yeah, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok. Both of them are my name at Sydnie Marlella. So I spell my name Sydnie, not Sydney.
We'll have your name in the title.
Cool. So it's just Sydnie Marlella, and I'm on Instagram and TikTok. I'm also on YouTube. I'm going to be launching that probably once this grows a little bit more. And once we hit 100K on TikTok, I'm going to do the YouTube channel again. So
you were really consistent with it for a while, and you were producing really good YouTube content.
Yeah.
You gotta definitely keep
You know
going.
what though? It's just YouTube just takes so much to edit.
So much.
Like, and I do Final Cut Pro too. So it's like just the editing, the filming, the setting up. Like I feel like that's a lot more staged than like TikTok was just like go with the flow,
natural and
snapshot. So I'm like, once I kind of build that platform up and then Instagram up a little bit more, then I'm like, y'all can get a YouTube video out of me because I do produce good content.
It's high production.
Yeah,
but that's why it takes you so long. Is because it is.
I don't just put out mess. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
So yeah, at Sydnie Marlella on anything, and we'll give our little platform plugs.
Yes, follow
just
them.
throw them in there. At DeCourcy Beauty Lounge, as always, it's linked below. But at DeCourcy Beauty Lounge, at DeCourcy Beauty, and then Miranda.
Mine is at MKM Beauty Bar.
Yep. So find us on there. Same with TikTok. My TikTok is just at DeCourcy Beauty.
That's it.
And we're working on TikTok. We're not super active on there right now, but definitely
Mostly
go follow
just
us
Instagram.
on there. Oh, and we did actually just make a Esty Besties TikTok.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I completely forgot. So we literally just created that. So make sure you guys go on that TikTok and check us out on there. We just post little short clips of our episodes, and we will start posting when we're about to upload. So you will get it the first look.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you so much for having me on. I love you guys so much. Thank you.
We are going to close out this episode with a little affirmation card pulling.
I love that.
Yes. Yeah. Sydnie, why don't you do the honors?
Okay, I'm going to pull from the middle of the deck. Okay. Let's see. So this one says, my authentic self is my most powerful state, which I agree. We just talked about this. Fabulous.
Perfect.
Love it. Hopefully that sets you guys on a nice little start to your day.
Yes, definitely does for me.
Yes, definitely does for me. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, make sure you guys go check us out on all platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you, and we hope you have the best day ever.
Yeah, see you guys later.